coverage you can count on. This is KOMU 8 News Today.
Welcome back, everyone, to KOMU 8 News Today, and happy Friday to you. Tim's been telling us that our best chance for sunshine is this weekend.
I know. She said it's going to be a nice weekend. Let's check in with you.
It's looking that way. We'll have some times of clouds today and for parts of Saturday, but Sunday looks like a beautiful day, and temperatures will start to kick back into the 60s and 70s. Right now, we are watching for more spotty showers developing over central Kansas. Those showers will start to drift this way. This is not a direct shot of rain for Columbia, so it looks like some of the rain is going to stay mainly to our south. Let's get you caught up on river flooding that is along the Missouri River in most locations. We're not dealing with any major flooding. There are a couple of spots with moderate flooding levels near Glasgow and Jefferson City and Herman. Otherwise, most reporting observation stations and boat drop-off spots are around minor levels in Boonville and also near Chamois. Temperatures outside a little cool this morning, 55 in Columbia and Jefferson City. But we have a north wind, so keep in mind there could be a little chill to the air this morning. Jackets needed today as temperatures only get to around 63.
Overnight, former Columbia Police Chief Ken Burton arrested for driving under the influence.
City spokesperson Steve Sapp told KOMU 8 officers stopped Burton's car at the intersection of Broadway and McBain Avenue around 8:20 last night. Burton was issued a municipal summons for DWI and was later released. Burton served as chief from April of 2009 until last December. He was placed on administrative leave and resigned 1 week later.
Several groups called for Burton's resignation during his tenure. In 2012, the Missouri Fraternal Order of Police did so for what it called, quote, wrongfully firing an officer. The Columbia advocacy group Race Matters Friends called for Burton to quit in 2016 for profiling racial minorities. City officials and officers also said they had problems with Burton's work ethic and standards while on the job. The Columbia Missourian reported in December on Burton's history of tardiness and missing events while drinking at a local bar.
Cybercrime experts responded to child pornography charges brought against a Columbia mother this week. Federal investigators accused 29-year-old Brittany Bailey of using the messaging app Kik to send and receive child pornography with people all over the country. Local cybercrime experts wouldn't comment directly on the case, but they say these apps help the child pornography industry keep growing.
There's no safe application out there. There's none. So any way a person can manipulate the application to use it, they're going to.
It's so pervasive, I think. I can tell you that law enforcement will tell you that they could be looking out for predators 24/7, and they wouldn't be able to keep up.
Investigators traced Bailey's user information from her Kik account to her email address and an IP address linked to a house in Columbia. She could spend at least 5 years in prison and face a fine of up to $250,000.
Around 9 last night, multiple cars were involved in an accident on Highway 63. We've got video from the scene. Multiple police and ambulance units were still on the scene for about 30 minutes. The main lane stayed open, but a lane just before the U-turn on the highway was partially blocked by emergency vehicles. Some Columbia neighborhoods are sick of speeding in their neighborhood, and they want the city to do something about it. They live on Williams Street, east of MU. Columbia Public Works says the plan is to install a speed bump over the entire intersection to try to slow drivers down. Public Works says most drivers go about 10 miles an hour over the speed limit.
I just feel safer, and I'd feel more comfortable taking William when I needed to, and I probably would take it out of choice a lot more often.
The City Council still needs to approve the project. Public Works hopes to start construction this summer.
Here's what's happening right now. Investors were hoping for a solid showing for U.S. jobs for a second straight month today ahead of the release of the April jobs report. Economists had estimated 190,000 jobs were added last month. That's according to a Bloomberg survey. Several incidents were expected to affect April employment. However, Goldman Sachs estimated that Midwest snowstorms were likely to reduce job gains by about 20,000. The bigger question is how much slowing economic growth and worker shortages will crimp hiring later down the road this year, guys.
Okay. Thank you, Jordan. Leaders at a Southern California synagogue knew they needed to increase security around their front door a year before a gunman walked through it and opened fire on Easter weekend. The Shabbat of Poway synagogue sought a $150,000 federal grant to install gates and more secure doors. It took nearly a year for the application to be approved, and the money wasn't awarded until late March. The synagogue did not have a chance to start using those funds yet.
Holocaust survivors and relatives gathered at Auschwitz yesterday to observe Holocaust Remembrance Day. Hundreds of people paid tribute to victims by taking part in the March of the Living. As many as 1.5 million people, mostly Jews, were killed at the Nazi death camp. 6 million Jews died during World War II.
The more you know, the less you understand. The more you know, the less it makes any kind of sense. The more you know, you realize how irrational all of this is.
I feel it's my almost a responsibility. And the reason for that is because I need to tell other people what took place here and how it came to be. The step-by-step process.
Auschwitz was eventually liberated by Soviet Union troops on January 27, 1945.
The U.S. Department of Defense gave 2 MU chemistry professors research grants worth nearly $14 million. The money will help pay for equipment and salaries needed for that research. The professors will get the grant money over a 5-year period. We talked to one of them, Arthur Suits. He told us these grants will let him study chemical reactions like never before by using cold temperatures that do not exist in nature.
One aspect of this is the study of highly vibrationally excited molecules, but that are very cold. So this is a new condition that doesn't really exist in nature, but will allow us to look in greater detail at the interactions between molecules.
Suits says his research helps with advancements in technology like the computers in our cell phones. Senior White House advisor Jared Kushner spoke before the Washington Institute of Near East Policy yesterday. He told the audience the president's decision to move the American embassy in Israel to Jerusalem made his job harder in the short run, but Kushner said it's the truth that Jerusalem is the capital of Israel.
When we made the decision to recognize Jerusalem, the president asked, will this make your job easier or harder? And the answer I gave him was, I think short term it's probably harder because people will, be more reactive and emotional.
Kushner told the crowd there's no doubt the Golan Heights should be part of Israel. He said calling Jerusalem Israel's capital and acknowledging the Israeli annexation of the Golan Heights is, quote, recognizing truths.
Democrats delivered a message yesterday, that message being that they think Attorney General William Barr is a chicken. Tennessee Representative Steve Cohen brought a ceramic chicken and a bucket of KFC to the House Judiciary hearing. That's mocking Barr for skipping out on the second day of testifying. Barr refused to be questioned about his rollout of the Mueller report. Republican North Carolina Senator Tom Tillis criticized, saying, quote, that it was an attention grab, calling the hearing a circus. After years of pressure to crack down on hate and bigotry, Facebook has banned Louis Farrakhan, Alex Jones, and other extremists, saying they violate its ban on, quote, dangerous individuals. The ban applies to both Facebook and Instagram and extends to fan pages and other related accounts. Those banned call it censorship. The move signals an effort by the social media giant to remove people and groups promoting material such as hate, racism, and anti-Semitism.
Julian Assange told a London court yesterday he will fight extradition to the U.S. He's facing charges of conspiring to hack into a Pentagon computer. Assange argues his works as WikiLeaks founder has benefited the public. Speaking by video from a London prison, Assange said, quote, I do not wish to surrender myself for extradition for doing journalism that has won many awards and protected many people, end quote. His formal refusal to be extradited marks the start of what is expected to be a tough legal battle over whether he will be brought to the U.S. to face trial.
The al-Qaeda trained man behind the 2009 plot to bomb New York's subway system learned he will likely be a free man within days. Najibullah Zazi was sentenced in New York yesterday to time served, avoiding a life sentence. Zazi met with the FBI more than 100 times after pleading guilty to the plot. It's a reward for his cooperation. He turned on his al-Qaeda backers and his closest friend to work with counterterrorism agents. The government calls his assistance, quote, extraordinary. A court hearing will be held today on motions in the New York measles case. A measles outbreak started last October, and now more than 200 cases have been reported. The outbreak prompted a state of emergency. The area is home to ultra-Orthodox Jewish communities in which misinformation on vaccines has spread through handbooks and hotlines. The city has issued summonses to those not following vaccination requirements and had closed some schools where unvaccinated students were attending class. Authorities on the Caribbean island of St. Lucia said yesterday they quarantined a cruise ship with about 300 people on board after discovering a confirmed case of measles. A doctor said in a video statement posted to YouTube, the St. Lucia Ministry of Health ordered the restrictions after conferring with the Pan American Health Organization and others about the risk of measles exposure to islanders. And a U.S. soldier's recovering after falling into a Hawaiian volcano. Authorities say he fell Wednesday night after climbing over a safety railing to get a better view at Hawaii's Volcanoes National Park. The man was airlifted to the hospital. He's in stable condition. Officials say the man is a Schofield Barracks soldier who was there for training exercises.
All right, some light rain is on the Doppler radar this morning. It's mainly out over parts of central Kansas and even over far areas of northern Missouri. It's pretty far outside of the KOMU 8 viewing area for now, but we'll keep an eye on some of these rain chances as it wants to move in an area of developing showers. It's possible later today. I'll give you a chance to look at, or give you a look at our chances for some of those rainfall opportunities here in a few minutes.
That's Jefferson City at 6:41. You're watching KOMU 8 News Today on this Friday morning.
Welcome back, everybody. It is 6:43 on this Friday morning. Here's what's happening right now. U.S. authorities will return $200 million this month that was stolen from Malaysia's state fund 1MDB, including money from a stake in a luxury New York hotel and from a Hollywood movie producer. That's according to two sources with direct knowledge of the matter. The U.S. Department of Justice is pursuing billions of dollars it says were misappropriated from 1MDB, a state fund founded by the former Malaysian Prime Minister. The current Malaysian Prime Minister is working with at least 6 countries to recover about $4.5 billion it says was stolen from 1MDB. Let's go ahead and get one last check of your traffic out the door this morning. We're still seeing some of those slowdowns, like I said before, on I-70 just near Boonville. Other than that, we are also seeing a slowdown on Highway 54 just south of Fulton. So if you're heading in any of those directions, leave yourself plenty of time to get where you're going this morning.
Now, your live Doppler 8 First Alert weather.
All right, the temperature outside, 55 degrees. It's a cloudy morning start. Dew point numbers are in the upper 40s. We still have a chance for rain maybe later this morning, better into the afternoon. And it's looking like some of those rain chances are meant more so for southern Missouri area, south of Columbia and Jefferson City. That east-northeast wind, though, that could introduce a little chill to the air this morning. It's cooled off to as low as 48 to 49 over parts of northern Missouri, and it could even come with a wind chill this morning. The satellite and radar, it does show some spot showers over northern Missouri. The rain is starting to dry up over the northern section of the state. So there's another area of rain developing, though, out over central Kansas. That'll eventually drift this way and provide an opportunity for rainfall here in central Missouri. It does not happen until maybe later into the afternoon. It looks like the morning just mostly cloudy. Through the afternoon, around 1 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon, that's when we can expect a little better chance for rainfall here throughout the day. And this happens a little closer down toward Eldon, the Lake of the Ozarks, Springfield, and kind of the Rolla area. That general region is going to have some spot showers through the afternoon and evening. Some of those showers could drift into central Missouri here later this evening and tonight. And overall, Saturday does look like a cloudier day now. We're going to start out with a lot of clouds Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon, trying to become partly to mostly sunny. If we do not get sunshine on Saturday, don't worry. We're going to have a lot of it on Sunday, and temperatures look to really jump back into the 60s, if not 70s, coming on Sunday afternoon. I talk all about that rain in your forecast for today and tomorrow, but it's low chances at best, specifically for Columbia. I give it a 20% chance for rain today and tomorrow. Sunday should be a dry day, and then next week we're going to start out with a 30% chance for rain on Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 60% chances for rain. It looks very probable that we're going to have an equally similar week of rainfall like we just had this week for next week. So another 1 to 3 inches of rain could be possible here in the central part of the state. Could induce some more flooding in some spots too. We're going to have some cloudy skies today. Overall, today is a cooler day. I think you're going to want jackets as you head out the door with temperatures near 63 this afternoon. It's a pretty comparable forecast to what we had yesterday with an overnight temperature dropping back to near 52 tonight. We just have that added little chance for rain in your forecast. While the weekend looks partly to mostly cloudy for Saturday, looks like sunshine is back in your forecast on Sunday. The temperatures will respond to that sunshine too. We're only at 66 tomorrow, 74 on Sunday. And then look at all the chances for rain next week. It looks like another wet one for us next week with temperatures in the 60s and 70s. Here's a look now for Mid-Missouri. Your top 8 stories of the day are coming up in a few minutes.
Welcome back, everyone, to KOMU 8 News Today. East Columbia residents were left with murky water and a muddy road after a water main break flowed down their street late Wednesday into Thursday. The city says the break was a common break that happens often in the spring. Columbia Water and Light says only 6 customers were under a boil advisory, but neighbors were sharing warnings on social media about yellowish tap water. One renter on the street says she only heard about the unsafe drinking conditions through text messages.
I haven't seen anything from the city of Columbia saying that we need to be cautious of that.
That break happened on Ann Street next to Boone Hospital. The city says the hospital didn't have any issues.
Here's what's happening right now. The Pentagon says China is using espionage to steal secrets to help bulk up its military. The new report says China is using a variety of methods to obtain cutting-edge tech, including cyber theft and exploitation of private Chinese nationals' access to those technologies. Now, these techniques have helped China obtain military-grade equipment from the U.S., including aviation and anti-submarine warfare technologies. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff recently warned Congress that U.S. companies doing business in China, such as Google, were often indirectly benefiting the Chinese military. Guys?
It's an ongoing one.
And we had talked about how the U.S. had taken issue with Huawei, which is that Chinese tech company, for that same reason of technological espionage. Thanks, Jordan.
Live look over the Lake of the Ozarks. Sun's up out there at 6:50. You're watching KOMU 8 News Today.
Good morning. Coming up here on Today, Democrats ramping up their attacks and threats against Attorney General William Barr. President Trump jumping to Barr's defense overnight. We'll have the latest on that back and forth. Also had this morning, with just days to go, Anna Wintour getting us ready for the Met Gala. What she revealed to Jenna in a rare interview about this year's theme for Fashion's Big Night, the panic text that she's getting about what to wear from guests, and her one dream guest. Then a fun way to wrap up our Best of Broadway week, a live performance from the Cher Show. Just nominated for a number of Tonys when we see you here on Today.
Now it's time for KOMU 8 News Today's Top 8. 8 stories making headlines in the day ahead.
Columbia police arrested the former chief, Ken Burton, for driving under the influence last night. DWI enforcement officers stopped Burton at the intersection of Broadway and McBain Avenue. He was issued a municipal summons for DWI and later released.
Federal investigators have charged the Columbia woman with trading child pornography. Brittany Bailey allegedly used the messaging app Kik to send and receive child pornography with people all over the country.
The Mississippi River is nearing water levels unseen since the historic 1993 flood. 2 bridges, one in Missouri, were forced to close. About 500 residents were evacuated in Alton, Missouri.
The U.S. Department of Defense gave 2 MU chemistry professors research grants worth nearly $14 million. The money will let them study chemical reactions like never before and temperatures that don't exist in nature.
A public visitation will be held today for A.J. Freund, a 5-year-old Illinois boy whose body was found buried not far from his home. The boy's murder sent shockwaves across the Chicago area after his parents confessed to the murder.
A U.S. soldier is recovering after falling into a Hawaiian volcano. Authorities say he fell after climbing over a safety railing to get a better view. Officials say the man is a Schofield Barracks soldier there for training exercises.
Senior White House advisor Jared Kushner told the Washington Institute of Near East Policy the truth is that Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. Kushner also told the crowd there's no doubt the Golan Heights should be part of Israel.
And finally, Julian Assange told a London court yesterday he plans to fight extradition to the U.S. He's facing charges of conspiring to hack into a Pentagon computer. Assange argues his work as the founder of WikiLeaks has benefited the public.
That's your top 8. The 8 stories you want to know about or keep an eye on in the day ahead. Remember, you can keep up with us online at our website, KOMU.com, and on your smartphone or tablet with our mobile apps.
All right, the satellite and radar still shows a little area of rain developing out over parts of central Kansas. This could drift our way and maybe provide us with a chance for rain later today. I think for Columbia, we're dealing with mainly just cloudy conditions. That rain chance is highest over southern Missouri. We do have an overnight chance for rain, and then Saturday through Sunday looks a little bit more sunny here for us, and eventually we'll pick up on some sunnier, warmer weather here this weekend. A look at our morning planner. 53 and cool this morning, 63 this afternoon. The weekend as a whole doesn't look too bad. We'll be in the 60s tomorrow, 70s on Sunday, and then next week, if you want to look at that forecast, I guess you can. It looks pretty similar to what we just experienced this week. A chance for rain every single day of the week. Another 1 to 3 inches of rainfall can be possible in central Missouri from Monday through Friday. It's going to be another soggy one, and the month of May continues to be very active for precipitation.
So people are trying to mow their lawn. When should they do it?
Trying. Sunday?
Sunday, for sure.
Sunday looks like a better day to do that.
Good enough.
Have a good Friday, folks.
See you.